Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with WINENJIRU. My name is Wanjiru Moreithi of WINENJIRU Exclusives, and this channel is really to feature different people doing wine things in East Africa. Today, we are so privileged to be in Burgundy. Okay, I wish we were, but we are not quite there yet. We're in Westlands at ABC Place at Le Decanter, and you will excuse my French if we need to correct it, please.
Very
and
good.
we're here with one of the coolest kids in the wine industry in Kenya, Julie Smith. Thank you so much for your time and karibu.
Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure having you today.
Yes. Do you agree you're a cool kid?
Well, I want to hope so. Kid, I'm not sure, but cool, hopefully.
All things French are cool anyway. Right. So we are here at ABC Place, and you've been in this store for how long?
12 years now.
12 years now.
Yes.
Wow.
With a few changes. We started slightly smaller, and it's only about 4 years ago that we expanded a little bit.
Double size. There used to be
Yes.
a leather store, African Lily. They used to do African clothes.
fashion store.
I must admit, like I told you when I walked in, photographs make the place seem much bigger. And sometimes I've seen like you've had almost 20 people in this space.
We do actually, yes. That's the
Where do
thing.
you stuff them?
So no, people are just happy to stand around and have a good wine. We can use also a bit of the outside space in the evening when the parking is not busy. So we manage to fit people comfortably around up to 30 people
30
sometimes.
people.
Yeah.
Sure. So you have this surname that's seemingly non-French, Mrs. Smith. And I can say when I first met you, I'm not sure how long ago it was we met, but then we've been interacting for a while now. Smith and France?
Yeah,
Where does that come from?
It's completely my husband's fault. I've got nothing to do with the Smith part. And it's true, you're not the only one, actually. Most of the time, people come in the shop and meet me and hear my French accent and look at French wine around and only French product. And suddenly, when I give my business card, everybody looks back, Smith, really? Where does that come from? So, I blame it all on my husband.
You've been in East Africa, you said, for over 20 years?
25 years.
Okay, we need to go before East Africa. What was that like and what was that about? Please take us through your journey.
Okay, well, I'm French, obviously, as you can hear from my accent. Despite 20 years in East Africa, I haven't lost this accent. And it's not on purpose. It's not just so I fit in with the product. I really genuinely can't get rid of it. I wish sometime I could, but it's exotic with my wine. I grew up in France. My grandparents had a vineyard in the Jura area. We were mostly producing crémant and vin jaune, vin paille, some very specific product, which I don't even import because I don't think the market is ready yet for those really specific and also quite premium products. My family doesn't have the vineyard anymore anyway, but I could still purchase wine, but I don't. And my dad had restaurants. So from a very young age, I would go with him when he was meeting his suppliers, so people he would buy wine for his restaurant from. And a lot of them have become long-term family friends. So, and I do work with a lot of those suppliers that my dad was already working with and who I have a personal connection with. And I think that's what makes Le Decanter very unique and special because of that personal connection. But back to my life. So I studied hotel management.
Oh, lovely.
With I studied in Dijon, Burgundy, and I specialized in oenology and marketing. And that's how I ended up in East Africa. When I got my degree, I moved to Zanzibar and I met my husband in Zanzibar.
Okay, but then why? Why East Africa? I mean, it seems you have everything going, living everybody's dream. Vineyard, check. French restaurant, check. Was it Michelin style?
No, it was really local specialty.
I mean, Burgundy, where people kill to go to. And then here, I don't know, 5,000 miles away or something. East Africa, you were looking for sunshine?
Well, sunshine is always a good thing to have. Really nice, friendly people.
Yes.
Amazing culture. I think both Tanzania and Kenya also have a lot to offer, which is absolutely amazing. And I feel really lucky that I can travel between the two. So I feel like I've got a bit best of both.
Best of both worlds. No, we are happy for it and we love you for it. Okay, so hotel management and the transition to wine. You were in a five-star hotel with a very good, I guess, wine and food offering.
But it's not actually how it happened. I got married in Nairobi, and I wanted for my wedding to serve family wine. So I brought in a lot of crémant. to serve at the wedding. And after the party, we still had quite a bit of wine left. And I would invite friends over for dinner and serve whatever was left of wine. And everybody was like, Julie, this is amazing. You should bring more wine. It's really nice. You should do that. And I started considering it, but doing it for friends. And then when I looked at the complication of importing in Kenya, I'm like, well, if I'm going to do it, I better do it professionally and properly. So I started creating a list of wine I would like to import. That's how slowly Decanter is born.
Okay. Funny thing, if I may go back to your wedding, that you had leftover wine. We know,
and knowing my friends, it's actually really impressive.
So it must have been really a lot of wine.
We did.
Because we know, even in the Bible, at that wedding in Cana, they did run out of wine, right?
True. And as I said, knowing my friends, they should have been totally able to finish it. But we brought a lot, which is great, because that gave opportunity to enjoy it longer than just on the wedding day.
Oh my goodness, yeah? You must have a repeat so that we can come for the leftover wine. So it came really from that, and you decided to go through this professionally. So did that mean leaving your hotel management career behind?
Yes, it did, but I already kind of had, because I moved, so it was in Zanzibar, and I moved in Nairobi when I had my first child, because living in Nairobi was a bit easier with setting up a family life than it was in Zanzibar. And I would work remotely, just doing the marketing for the hotel, but not really being heavily involved in the operation side at all. So it was a transition.
Yeah. Why Westlands? Why ABC Place for this shop? Why not, I don't know, different places, Gigiri?
I mean,
perhaps in town, in Karen.
It really just happened by chance. The owner of ABC is a really good friend of mine, and one day he said, Julie, I had mentioned to him about the will of opening a wine shop, and he had just created this little island here in the middle where we are now, and the new ABC Tower. So ABC was really expanding, and being on Waiyaki Way, which is very central, I thought, why not? He showed me this place, and he said, that's perfect for you. So I probably should really thank him, because it's thanks to the owner of ABC, which I'm here now. I didn't really consider it.
Yes.
I really feel like everything has kind of happened by chance, and maybe it was a bigger plan for me and everything just fell in place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, no, great. If you think about your wine portfolio, it's primarily French. For this store in particular, we'll get to your expansion plans later. Are you still keeping that philosophy of, you said, family-run wine estates? Or have you expanded into more commercial brands, and perhaps maybe touch on a few things of your collection that you find stands out?
I mean, it is still, I would say, probably 80% very small vineyard, family-owned properties, which a lot of them had never exported before, by the way. So when I approached them and said, I want to bring your wine or champagne in Kenya, they were all like, wow, that sounds great, but we really don't know what to do, with cabs and whatever is needed. So we went through the process together. It was new for them and it was new for me. They really raised to the challenge. And now some of them are exporting in other countries, because it created an experience for them. So I'm actually really, really proud of what I've been able to give some of those family, more traditional way of working. And so as I said, it's probably still about 80%. When I started, and it was 12 years ago, I really went for premium wine. And I realized that the market also had a need for more entry-level wine. But I didn't want to completely change that focus and will. I had to really bring better quality wine in Kenya. So I did found a few, I would call them good value for money wine.
Good value,
including I have Vauban, which is a sparkling wine. I have the Crémant, but I have also the sparkling wine, which is a Méthode Charma. And that's probably one of my best-selling products now. And that came a bit because of the need of finding really more entry product. I have Bordeaux, which I think are very well priced, but still on Bordeaux appellation. So I looked at going down slightly, but with keeping, for me, appellation are still very important. I don't have a lot of what we call Vin de France. I try to really stick, because I really believe in terroir. I really believe that the appellation has a great impact. And through all my research, and that took a lot of trips in France and going to the vineyard and looking, I feel that I've found some really good appellation entry-level wine.
Wines, okay.
And on the other end, now, so that was like 12 years ago where I felt that need. And since COVID, I feel like now I can really go back to what I really wanted to do and go into more premium wine, including Burgundy, of course.
Okay, that's your favorite place.
Yes,
in fact, we'll have to count how many times you mentioned Burgundy in this interview.
Yes.
Okay, so when you say premium, what price points are we talking about here? Just maybe a range.
I mean,
over what?
This has also changed in the past couple of years with duty increasing constantly, the price of transport increasing constantly.
Yes.
So if we speak as of today, I would say that for 5,000 shilling, 5 to 6, you can have a really, really good premium wine.
Okay. Yes. And then our good value will be less than?
It would be between 1.6 to 2.5.
2.5, okay. Just for context for people to understand.
Yes, okay. Yes.
And I mean, I like that you've mentioned that because I know, one, you're a very good WSET supporter. You have sent us students. In fact, I think, is it one of your staff members, Kevin, was one of the first to get 100% mark. We remember him for that. Cheers to you, Kevin.
Yeah.
But also in providing the wines, because the WSET is a lot about appellations, especially in France. And there's really a small number of importers who can provide us with that level of wine. So you have been great that way. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. But I really believe in education.
Yeah.
And I feel like the more educated people we have around, the more, it's a ripple effect.
Exactly.
So I think it's really, really important to educate people and to understand the concept of terroir and good wine and appellation.
And appellation, yes. And the thing is that book is really half France. I also like that you mentioned your focus has been on appellations, right? So appellations, of course, is areas with strict rules, what grapes can be grown, what really people look for that understand French wine. And that has been your focus. As much as you don't bring, like you said, the sort of mass, more general produced wines from Burgundy France, yeah? And I'm happy that I was at the Veuve and Val launch when you first brought it into the market. Yes. I think it was, I don't remember the year though.
I was at least 8 years ago, I think it was about 8 years ago.
But it was at Ibis on a Saturday afternoon, and I remember I was there. And I know I have seen it on many menus, and the price is really approachable for a nice, easy drinking style of wine. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Sorry. Now, talking about growth and expansion, we have experienced a lot of that, I guess, especially, is it in this year specifically? I know you have expanded this shop, that's one thing, but you've also expanded your retail footprint.
Yes, I have. I was actually really considering almost closing the retail aspect because I feel like a lot of, or at least having it in a different way, probably more on online sales.
Okay.
Because I feel like a lot of, there is so much more demand for online and deliveries. And so even through here, I mean, you've seen when we were prep, lots of riders coming in and out and picking. So the need for having such a big shop with a rental in commercial rents in Nairobi being quite expensive, I was almost considering like downsizing and just having a little like showroom and focus more on my online selling. But then, Art Caffe, and I went into some conversation, and then we've decided that now I could manage the Art Caffe markets.
Okay.
So I've started only with one on Rhapta Road and one at Village Market. One was existing for a couple of years and one was very new.
Yes.
So I wanted to see how this is going and how the retail is going, which is great because it means now I'm not only selling just what I import, but I also have the opportunity to sell wine from around the world, which is something I wasn't doing before. So it's actually challenging but interesting also.
Okay, you're not feeling diluted.
No, I do still love focusing on importing my wine and then reselling my wine on the wholesale level. I think that's still going to be my real passion and close to my heart. But there is a lot of fun and lots of connection. And as I mentioned before, I really love education and educating people in wine. And I feel having those two new retail space and soon another one in Junction, has also given me a space where I could do a lot more tasting.
Yes.
Not just on my wine, we partner with everybody who supplies us. And
Exactly.
I want to thank all the partners that I'm constantly approaching and always saying yes and supporting me through this new ambition that we have with Art Caffe. So I think that's the most important for me. It's being able to expose more Kenyan to international wine
from around the world. Yes. And the shop is Market Cellar by Decanter. Did I get that right? Okay.
Exactly.
So you
it's long, but yes, it is.
No, Decanter still comes there.
Yes.
I guess you didn't quite let them drop the Art Cafe, but perhaps.
No, well, it's a partnership at the end. So, we needed to have both names in there, even if it's a bit of a mouthful to say, but it's very important. We really do things together. It's not like me just taking over. I really benefit from being there and also from Art Cafe being Art Cafe.
Exactly.
I really want to value that.
I mean, I didn't see that coming. Not that I'm a prophet or anything, but I was quite surprised, when they came, because I know Art Cafe had this very big expansion from just their coffee shop restaurants to what they call the market, and then of course the Market Cellar.
Yes.
I do get confused because it's another shop with a very close name, but we won't get into that today. But I'm glad that has come up. And of course, Junction, because I remember there was a shop at Junction way back when I started that we used to go back to. So, and that's closer to me from the Kajiado side. So looking forward to that. And I like that you brought about your focus on education, because I also know you really supported Team Wine Kenya over the years. In fact, I was very jealous. I think last year they went to one of the vineyards. I'm not sure where. Where did they go?
Unfortunately, not the whole team, but we did a really nice with some member of the team who could come a bit earlier before the competition. We went through Burgundy all the way down to the south of the Rhone Valley.
Oh, really?
We did
how many days was that?
I think it was 3 or 4 days.
Lovely.
Yes, so lots of driving and lots of tasting and going to different vineyards. And the idea behind it was to be able to have as much tasting as possible for them to really continue educating their palate and giving them that experience. And of course also, discovering firsthand in the terroir different wines.
Okay.
It was lots of fun, and I wish I could do it again with them. It's a great team and I'm very proud of them.
Okay, I mean, I'm not part of Team Wine Kenya, but I'm happy to join any road trip into France with a French expert. Okay, so let's talk about doing business in Kenya.
Yes.
You have a very broad customer base right now, and I do understand what you mentioned about closing the retail and then getting deep into retail. So what's your ideal customer if you had a choice? Or perhaps from your experience over the years, what do the different categories of customers represent for you and your business? Okay,
well, when I started, I was 80% on the retail and 20% wholesale.
Yes.
Mostly off-trade business. Because the restaurants in that time for all the on-trade business, I think were not ready to invest in such more premium wine.
Okay.
So that was a bit more difficult. Now I would say on what I import with Art Caffe, on French wine and spirit, by the way.
You have spirits?
Yeah, we can also touch this later, maybe. I'm probably less retail and more wholesale.
Okay.
And off-trade, on-trade is probably more on the on-trade now, which is really exciting because it means the restaurants are now willing to offer a wider wine list, something maybe also a bit more premium, understanding that people will spend as much in wine as they will on food, probably even more, in fact. So that's really something that has grown. And as I mentioned before, through my dad's restaurant background, I'm really, really excited to see that the restaurant scene is now really willing to make an effort on their wine list. And not copy and paste like it used to be. Every restaurant.
There's all sorts coming up right now, including some very French-specific sort of restaurants coming through. How has the industry changed from when you started? I mean, I've been in the business maybe just a few years less than you. I started in 2014, and I wanted to become an importer. A similar story with, I was living in South Africa, bringing wine for myself. Friends decided to get into my stock, but very quickly realized that the process of getting licensing and dealing with products is not what I was made of. I'm already gray. Oh, yeah, I'm already gray. I didn't want to get any more gray. So education and consulting became easier for me. So I really admire you guys who manage products moving across, right?
Thank you.
But then
It's not easy.
it is not easy, but yet you're doing it and it's profitable, right?
Yeah,
So how has business changed from those days to now? What are some of the significant things post-COVID?
Well, I mean,
Pre-COVID.
what COVID has really changed, I would say, it's the way people drink. It's really went from quantity to quality.
Wow.
And that's a really, really amazing thing, because once you get into quality, you just don't go back. So I guess the fact that people couldn't party and have buying 30 bottles for a party of 100 people went from buying 2 bottles for a small dinner of 6 people. So they could afford for the same price much better wine. So naturally, it's been giving us a chance to showcase better, more expensive wine.
Yes.
And explain why they cost that much and why there is a reason behind the price. Obviously, it's not just for fun. So that's been great. Also, I've been doing a lot of wine tasting, and I think it's also confidence. It takes over time. My clientele will start buying a bottle at 1,500. Then they're like, oh, yes, that was good. They'll move up to 2,000. It's a trust. It's confidence we create in clients. And once they understand that, oh, yeah, 2,500 is good. Okay, I can venture into spending that because I know I'm going to have something good. I think it's very difficult to say I'm going to spend 5,000 shilling in a wine I don't know if I don't even trust the person that's going to sell it to me. So we've really got a clientele that trusts us, believe in us, and of course we invite them for wine tasting and just showcase. But it's really nice to feel that trust is there with the Decanter products.
Yeah. And it's growing, right?
Yes.
And it's growing. And I mean, I'm a big fan. I haven't been to the shop in a while.
Oh, we do delivery, so it's okay.
But I'm a big fan. Is it getting better? Have you moved from sort of maybe, I don't know, making an assumption, were your previous clients a lot of French expatriates?
Actually, not at all.
Really?
I've never had a big French clientele.
No way.
I don't know. I think it might be the representation also. I mean, obviously, you pay a bit more in Kenya than what it would cost.
Yes.
There is transport, there is duties, there is so much.
Yeah.
And I feel like that association for certain French people to be like, wow, this champagne is like double what I would maybe pay in France, or it's difficult for them to accept. But yet, when you understand the economy and what's happening, it's normal. It's exactly the same with South African wine. It's just that they don't have a mark of repair they don't have a benchmark
exactly to compare with.
So not the French. I would say Kenyan is really my core.
Okay, so
not
still very much
expatriate.
Indigenous. Okay, I don't. Yes. Indigenous may not be the word, but local Kenyans. Okay, lovely.
Local Kenyan. Expatriate, not so much. I guess maybe the expatriate community is full of maybe people having access to commissary or duty-free, or traveling back and forth a lot, able to bring things in their suitcase. So, Kenyan traveling maybe less or not able to bring in their suitcase are really, really my core clientele. And I love it because, it's, again, talking about describing products that they may not have come across before. I know when I started, there was a lot of South African wine.
Yes.
Now people are curious and interested in learning about French wine. And it's nice because we do spend time in the shop talking, not just come grab your bottle and go, which is also something that we do at Le Decanter. We were mentioning about Kevin, but Stella was one of the shop attendants, and all my team is very well conversant in wine, and they know, and that's going to make a difference when you shop here. You can tell us what you're going to have for dinner, and we can get a recommendation.
Yes.
It's different than going to a supermarket and just having to search for
the market is worse. At least here they can sort of interpret for you the different wine selections and the like, right? We won't talk about the champagnes yet, but we have you selected the wine we have in our glasses.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe tied to that, do you have favorite brands?
Definitely. Now you're counting, so maybe how many times I'm saying Burgundy now, maybe 4 or 5 times, but most of the Burgundy wine and red wine. So I'm definitely a Pinot Noir Burgundy.
Really? Very classy. Should I say very demure?
Well, I'm very lucky to have a good selection of them. I can still change appellation
and stuff. So you're a Pinot Noir girl.
Yes.
Completely. Not even a champagne girl.
No, I do love champagne also.
Okay.
Yes,
so do you want to mention maybe some of your favorite brands? I know I keep telling people when they ask me, I'm not going to talk about my favorite children. I mean, all wine is my children. Not ask me to talk about what's favorite. But then do you want to mention, you've mentioned Veuve and Bal at least.
Yes. My champagne, Charles Mignon is really, and we were talking, I did tell you before, how much the restaurant scene is really changing now. So in France, Charles Mignon champagne is very well known in the restaurant world. So Michelin star restaurant will stock Charles Mignon. It's not so much of a supermarket champagne like some other brands about glossy magazine advertising. It's not like that. It's really gastronomy. The range is wide enough that you can even pair it with food.
Love it.
There is some for aperitifs. There is some you can have with food. There is some which are great with your dessert. So we've got the full range. And so I love this idea that you can dine with champagne.
Okay, love it.
Yeah, it's not just a celebration to cheer for the cake or to have as an aperitif. It's really a wine by itself that you can have.
But you can pair like a different tasting menus and the like. Okay.
Yes. Minuti, well, that's quite a big brand, but it's a really top quality rosé and rose blood. So I feel really, really privileged to have two of the best Provence rosé. So again, their appellations are from Provence. And then what would be close to my heart? I love Alsace wine.
Okay.
Gustave Lorenz. I think that Alsace is not well known enough in Kenya yet. And there is a misinterpretation because of the shape of the bottle, which is similar to the German Riesling or Traminer. There is that preconception that they're going to be sweet wine. So it's actually a challenge for me that I'm trying to take at the moment on educating on French Alsace wine, which are not sweet.
So we'll have an Alsatian night. We'll have a champagne tasting menu. Rosé any day. Okay. And then what did you select for us to taste today?
I'm having 100% Merlot Bordeaux from Château Roquefort. Château Roquefort is based on the extreme part of Bordeaux, very close to the sea, so lots of minerality in their white. And 100% Merlot for the red, which is quite unique because normally in Bordeaux they have a tendency to blend.
Exactly.
So that's something which I really love. And for you, it's a Viognier Chardonnay from the south of the Rhône Valley. So again, Chardonnay, very common grape in Burgundy, obviously, single grape. And now this Chardonnay is from the south of the Rhône Valley. The Viognier is more common in that area. So it's a really interesting balance. And as you could tell in the nose, the Viognier is really there. You expect a wine which is more on the Viognier side, flowery, white flowers, and then when you taste it, I mean, I guess we probably should spend more than I should. This Chardonnay is there, long finish, so it's something really unique and
very unique.
I really tried
First time I've heard it.
Yeah,
Viognier Chardonnay blend.
Yes.
And I love it too. No, I do. And I mean, it's sunny outside. That's how I was quite, let's say, conservative on the red wine. But I'm gonna taste the Merlot as well when we're done with this. Maybe now, in terms of parting shots for the future, I'm gonna ask. Okay, let's talk about the future. Where do you see your business going? What do we expect from Le Decanter soon?
Well,
or in the future? Because this is 12 years. Say in the next 3 years to 15 or to 20. I'm sure you'll still be looking as fabulous as you are.
Wine is supposed to be like, helping stay young.
Anti-aging.
Aging like a fine
anti-aging
wine.
secrets,
Antioxidant and lots of good things in wine. There is a chemist across. Maybe I should sell my wine to them. No, I mean, I think, as I mentioned before, I'm still very much passionate about importing and particularly selecting what I'm importing.
Sure.
So every time I go in France, I get really excited about new wines and be like, oh, should I bring this? I don't want to diverse too much. And also, I would say compete with myself.
Yes.
Like 10 different champagnes. I don't think the market would be ready for that many champagne.
Sure.
Especially on like more specific kind of champagne. So I'm still being very careful at the expansion of my range of product.
Yeah.
But I am very excited about so many wines that I've discovered, and I really would like for every Kenyan to be able to try it.
Okay.
I think that's really my aim, to largen my portfolio a little bit more and be able to sell it to more restaurants.
More people. We are expanding retail chain coming up now. You've lived in Tanzania.
Yes.
And Zanzibar. You're not importing there yet.
No, but my best friend is.
Okay. So tell us a bit, what do you see as that market? I'm asking this because I do work in Tanzania for Wines of South Africa, of course. And even next week on the 28th, I'm going back for a wine festival being hosted by the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Dar es Salaam. And I know they do have the Park Hyatt right at the Stone Town views in Zanzibar as well. Yeah. What are your insights perhaps about that? And can you compare the wine culture?
Well, no, I don't think we can compare at all, because in Kenya we have a huge, if not the majority, local clientele.
Okay.
Tanzania, the clientele drinking wine is still mostly tourists.
Okay.
I would say local clientele is still very much beer, spirits, of course, huge spirits drinkers. We don't have the same level of middle class as there is in Kenya who can afford wine. So I don't think it's at the level of Kenya yet. We can't compare. Now, when it comes to tourism, of course, there is a huge market because tourism is doing really well, particularly in Zanzibar.
Yes.
The market is probably 90% targeted to tourists, with 10% of maybe expats working in the hotels who want to have good wine.
Good wine,
But tourists, I think also being in Africa, want to have African wine, which will be South African wine. So I don't really see the tourists coming in Zanzibar to drink French wine.
Okay.
It's not so... No, Kenya is
not the first thing,
But for South African wine, there is definitely a big place in the price range that can accommodate the tourist,
Yes.
Lots of hotels are now turning into full inclusive also. There is lots of cocktails being drunk. It's really hot. People have more white and rosé. So just, the climate is different than Nairobi, more in altitude, colder evenings here where we have a glass of red. So too many differences to be able to compare.
No, but I mean, it's true. I feel somehow that even in mainland Tanzania, that what Kenya was perhaps 10 years ago is where Tanzania is now. So, of course, it presents an opportunity, but then there's a lot of work to be done.
Yes.
And I'm glad I have that opportunity to be part of that movement the same way I've had the opportunity here. If you were not in East Africa, where would you be? If it wasn't here?
Wow. That's a tough question. I've never even thought about it because I'm so happy where I am and I love East Africa that I don't think I would consider going back to France.
Mr. Smith has totally converted you to a true Kikuyu.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well done.
No, I love, as I said, I love the flexibility and the chance of being able to go between the two.
Okay.
So that's really, I feel really privileged to be able to do that.
Yes. Okay. And we're jealous about it, but hey, good for you.
I love South Africa also, by the way. I don't go often enough. I haven't been for quite a few years, but living there, I don't know if I would. I probably don't know it enough, but at least in terms of travel, it's a place I could consider spending part-time there.
I lived in Johannesburg for 10 years.
I was thinking more of Cape Town, actually.
In fact, and then now the irony is I have gone to Cape Town more since I got back to Kenya, which is again also 10 years because of course of the wine business.
Exactly.
And I can't for the life of me identify why, because my job could have provided me the opportunity to live in Cape Town then. I don't know why I didn't choose Cape Town as a destination then. I cannot understand it. I used to go for work and I was quickly back in Joburg. But at least I love the opportunity of going back to Cape Town now. The irony is it brought me, I had to come back to Kenya to go to Cape Town more.
Yes.
And of course it's really and matters a lot to do, and there's so much I'm discovering even about South African wines that we think we know a lot about already. But there's still so much to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Can we talk a bit about spirits, perhaps?
Yes.
Brandies?
So...
Just to touch on your other products, maybe, as we wind up.
again, you were asking me like what I like, what I would pick. So cognac is quite well known already in Kenya. So I decided to not bring cognac, but Armagnac.
Oh.
So just to be different and to have something probably a bit more premium also.
Yes.
Just to fit in with the concept and the idea of what I'm doing with wine. So I've got a really nice range of different Armagnac from Chateau Lobal, which is really well known in terms of Armagnac, with old vintage. I just received a 1964 vintage.
When are we opening that?
Well, I thought we were in 2024, so if there is any milestone birthdays.
None of our birthdays, right? 1964.
No. But it's a good present for a milestone birthday.
Yeah.
And if I'm not wrong, it's also the year of independence of Kenya.
Okay, well, it's 63, but hey, it's close enough.
Well, okay,
it's close enough. Yeah. We'll forget, 1 year between friends.
Yes, it needed a year of maceration for this Armagnac to be ready. So basically, the grapes were from that time.
Yeah.
So Armagnac, which I really like, and I'm really keen on teaching the difference between cognac and Armagnac.
Yes.
Then
maybe you can tell us what it is now. A quick overview.
Vintage and area. Again, the terroir.
Yes.
And the vintage, which cognac don't have.
Super.
And I'm very proud of a new French whiskey called Johnny Epp, a whiskey made in Alsace. So Alsace traditionally has been really the place in France where there is a lot of distillation.
Okay.
If you look behind you, there is a few white spirit like Père William, Mirabelle, raspberry, sherry on white distilled spirit. So Alsace is really famous for that. So automatically when France started developing a bit of whiskey, Alsace is where it started.
Super.
So I've got...
And I think this as well, right?
Liqueur de Paris. This is from Paris.
Oh, that's from Paris. Sorry. Okay.
Calvados from the north of France, made from apple. So there is a lot of traditional spirits made.
Yes.
Whiskey is not traditional. It's something more modern now because it's drunk around the world, but with French touch, like maturation in Alsace barrel or maturation in Sauternes barrel, which really gives it a French touch. And then I've got a full range of liqueur from Vedrenne. Vedrenne is also very famous in France for crème de cassis because they're based in Burgundy. And I don't know if you're still keeping count on Burgundy. So crème de cassis with the famous Kir Royal.
Yes. Yeah.
Or Kir Royal with champagne or Kir with white wine comes from Burgundy. So Vedrenne started with crème de cassis, and now they've got a wide range. I've got elderflower liqueur, which is probably one of the best-selling products because it goes with everything.
With everything as well.
Elderflower gin and tonic, spritz, again with champagne or sparkling wines. So it's very versatile product.
Wow, and I mean the passion coming through your speaking about this product is amazing, right? So I have a confession to make. I've never been to France. I wanted to leave this to the end. I know, but I know it's like shocking. But I feel like I had a trip today. But I'll tell you, on 1997, I was in Germany. I think I was still at university. I've revealed my age. And we took a drive to Salzburg. Isn't that across the border? Is my geography correct?
Strasbourg.
Sorry, Strasbourg.
Strasbourg,
Sorry.
In Austria.
Strasbourg, yes, where the European Parliament was at some point in time.
So you've been to France.
So I was quote unquote smuggled in because we literally drove across the border. 97, of course, the rules maybe were anyway, whatever the context was.
Yeah.
So in essence, I don't have a stamp in my passport.
So you've been there.
But I've been there. Yeah, and I need to go back. So,
but did you spend enough time in Strasbourg to try some wine and food?
No. In fact, I wasn't drinking then because I remember there was a Riesling tasting in a cave.
Yeah.
21-year-old who doesn't drink. Oh. So, yes, I have been back to Germany a few times now drinking, but then I need to go to France for a whole shebang tour. So that's a confession I needed to make.
Well, I'd love to be able to make that change in your life.
So we'll make a plan for that. So Strasbourg, not Salzburg, Strasbourg, where the European Parliament was, because we were in Karlsruhe. I guess that's close enough.
Yes.
In terms of that, but then just your passion and of course drink. I mean, really, we always say we travel through the bottle. We travel through the glass. We have definitely traveled to France today. And we are so happy that you chose East Africa as your home. Thank you, Mr. Smith. And I mean, your Kenyan kids too. I'm sure they call Kenya home as well, right?
Definitely.
Even though You say one is in France now?
One is in France right now, picking grape in Beaune.
Yeah.
He was in Châteauneuf-du-Pape last week.
Super.
He's taking a gap year and he's passionate about wine already.
Super. So you're already planning for the next generation.
He's in the vineyard right now picking grapes. Yes.
Super. And then the other one is in school.
So the one is at school. Yeah.
Not yet drinking age, I guess.
Not yet, but very soon also.
Okay.
So, well,
yeah. Yes.
I mean, legally at least. But might have tried wine before.
But yeah, we are so happy on the strides you've made. You're definitely one of the, shining lights of the wine industry. We look up to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support in our endeavors, and I'm sure I'm speaking for many others. And we wish you the very best in your endeavors. This has been really special for us. Asante sana.
Thank you so much.
And cheers.
Thank you. It was amazing having you, and thank you for the opportunity to talk about my passion.
Your passion, no, really. Your eyes were lighting up. Like, we didn't need this light. You are quite passionate about all that, and thank you so much. And yeah, maybe you continue to grow and grow. I'm sorry it took us this long to get here.
It's fine. It was a pleasure.
It was right in time, yeah?
Thank you.
But asante sana.
Yes, pleasure.
And there you have it. Our little journey to Burgundy mentioned N times on this interview, but you clearly saw her love of France, and I'm sure too the love of East Africa and Kenya specifically. Please remember to subscribe to our channel and come back for more juicy tales of wine and more on this channel. Asante sana. Till next time. Cheers.